A woman charged in a 2006 hit-and-run crash that left a man unable to walk was in court today nearly 10 years later after turning herself in.
Lexington police looking for a man who robbed a gas station without saying a word.
And we will remember an Eastern Kentucky music legend the day after the anniversary of his death.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon to you. Amber Philpott and Sam Dick reporting. We have been dealing with another day of off and on again showers and now storms.
There's a lot going on out there. Some parts of the state are already seeing severe weather, and it is headed our way. So we have called a WKYT First Alert Weather Day as we closely monitor the situation. Let's check in now with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey. Hi, Chris.
Hi, guys. Indeed, First Alert Severe Weather Day called last night, and here we go with severe thunderstorms across much of the area. That threat for central Kentucky through 8 o'clock this evening, though I suspect we're going to see that watch extend a little deeper into the evening and likely pushed into parts of eastern Kentucky as well. Defender Radar Network coming in very handy today, picking up on waves of thunderstorms that continue to crash into parts of central Kentucky as of now. Really watching this area down the Bluegrass Parkway right now. Folks around the Lawrenceburg area, down into the Springfield area, Washington County, watch this line of thunderstorms as it makes its way to the east and northeast. Not only does it have the possibility of producing damaging winds and large hail, you see the severe thunderstorm warnings that are out in the yellow boxes, but the storms are now beginning to line up. That can cause repeat thunderstorms over the same piece of real estate. You can get flash flooding in a hurry and likely seeing some flooding problems across sections of Hardin County. Now, within this little thunderstorm cluster, Defender says, yeah, you know what? I'm seeing just a little bit of rotation with this storm just to the north of the Boston area. That is heading into Nelson County, just north of Bardstown. The 1 hour track on this storm from Defender says 1 hour from now, roughly, this storm will be into western parts of Anderson County and not too far away from the Willisburg area of northern sections of Washington County. So we're going to watch that right on top of the Bluegrass Parkway. 3D Defender showing that thunderstorm continuing to spike way up into the sky. Strong thunderstorm now popping on the north side of Scott County. That one is getting close to becoming severe. May have some at least dime-sized hail with that just to the north of the Georgetown area. Let's get up close and personal with the back edge of the storm across the Franklin County area, where we have a crew right now into downtown Frankfort, and we've been showing the skies there that have been lighting up with the thunderstorms beginning to creep on into town. That's the leading edge of the thunderstorm getting into the capital city of Frankfort as of now. This is not severe, by the way. It is a general run-of-the-mill thunderstorm that is impacting parts of Franklin County, though we will keep a very close eye on it. The strongest part of that line back on Defender is now to the northeast of Franklin County into parts of Stamping Ground and Sadieville. Downtown Frankfort, that's a strong little thunderstorm, but it isn't severe at all. This is the strongest storm that is across the Lexington Metro right now. It's on the north side of Scott County, and that extends a little farther to the northeast, trying to become a little line here that can produce some wind damage and some large hail across the Cynthiana area. Why are we concerned about additional thunderstorms this evening? What is likely to happen, we're going to see this area try to fill in over the next few hours. Western Kentucky right now, this particular thunderstorm is producing a tornado as we speak. A lot of damage being reported with what is being described as an extremely large and dangerous tornado that is into parts of western Kentucky. It has made its way just to the northeast of the Fancy Farm area, right on top of Benton in western Kentucky. And that'll continue to work its way toward the northeast. So this is making headlines right now across Kentucky with that potential, not a potential, it is a confirmed tornado, guys, on the ground into western Kentucky. We will continue to watch all the thunderstorms. It's going to be a very busy evening as additional rounds develop. And of course, if we get any additional warnings, we'll break in and let you know immediately.
Chris, thank you. Today, a woman appeared in court to answer to a crime she committed nearly 10 years ago.
Investigators say back in 2006, Carmela Velasco Palacios hit a man walking along Versailles Road in Lexington, but didn't stop to help. This past February, she turned herself in to police. You'll hear from the man she hit, who is now in a wheelchair. Hillary Thornton has more now from the courthouse in our top story at 4:30.
She was originally facing several charges, including a felony charge of first-degree assault. Warrants issued for her arrest shortly after the hit-and-run crash that left a man unable to walk. Now today, nearly 10 years later, Carmela Velasco Palacios in front of a judge. However, she's no longer charged with that felony. Court documents show investigators say Velasco hit a pedestrian with her vehicle along Versailles Road back in July of 2006. Charges were filed and a warrant issued. However, it was not until this February. According to her arrest citation, she flagged down an officer outside of her apartment, turning herself in. Then last month, a grand jury returning an indictment against Velasco, who is out on bond, however dismissing the assault charge, leaving her only facing misdemeanors. Those charges returned to district court, where she was arraigned on the misdemeanors, something that the man who investigators say she hit, who was born deaf but was put in this wheelchair due to that crash, says is hard for him to accept.
I can't imagine not getting a felony indictment for leaving somebody on the road to die, which is basically what she did. And she just walked out the doorway.
Now, Velasco's attorney had planned for her to enter a guilty plea on those misdemeanors today. However, the judge did not allow that, instead ordering her back to court later this month. In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
The judge waived formal arraignment and entered a not guilty plea for Velasco. Police are hoping some distinct clothing will help them catch a man who robbed a Lexington gas station overnight. The man was covered from head to toe, wearing a Mardi Gras mask and pink socks on his hands when he held up the speedway on Paris Pike just after 2 this morning. He did not speak at any time during the robbery. Instead, police say he pointed a gun at the clerk and made hand gestures to demand money.
With severe weather on the way for this evening, we'll tell you how you can become a part of the WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Team.
Do you play the TV too loudly? Are you having difficulty listening? Well, I used to, but not anymore.
We're seeking 100 people with problems hearing to take part in the 10-day challenge, evaluating a new revolutionary high-tech hearing device the size of a pencil eraser.
Appointments will go fast. Call the number below to try the Miniscopic Hearing Solutions, helping you listen to what you're missing.
The world a president has to grapple with. Sometimes you can't even imagine. That's the job, and she's the one who's proven she can get it done. Securing a massive reduction in nuclear weapons, standing up against the abuse of women, protecting Social Security, expanding benefits for the National Guard, and winning health care for 8 million children. The presidency is the toughest job in the world, and she's the one who'll make a real difference for you.
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
All summer long, your road to refreshment leads to Speedway. And now that Speedway's grown throughout the Midwest, Northeast, and Southeast, nobody has a handle on your summer fun better than Speedway. From the sunny shores of Florida to New York City, from the Carolinas to the New England coast, your road to refreshment leads to Speedway. And now, Speedway's celebrating 25 years supporting Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Donate today.
We're on your way to convenience stores of Speedway.
Now, a 32-ounce Speedy Freezer fountain drink, just 89 cents.
Do you have a dream of exploring the open roads or traveling with family? It's time to get started. And Day Brothers RV in London is home to the largest selection of RVs and travel trailers in southern Kentucky, with brands like Thor, Coachman, Heartland, Fleetwood, and Winnebago. The selection has never been larger, and the features have never been more luxurious. Explore in comfort. Explore your way. Explore more options with Day Brothers RV in London.
The average person takes 5,000 to 8,000 steps per day, working, exercising, going about the day. High-tech artificial limbs keeps you moving comfortably. You can choose who helps you walk in the right direction.
You may be entitled to $1,500 for each call you've received from any company collecting a debt. Seems too good to be true, but it's the law.
WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day as we continue to monitor rounds of strong and severe thunderstorms across the entire area. This is a severe thunderstorm watch that goes through 8 o'clock this evening. Highly anticipate that being extended deeper into the evening and likely to include additional counties across eastern parts of Kentucky. Defender Radar Network, one line of storms, two lines of storms, another one behind it. We've got additional rounds beginning to pop across western Kentucky. Those storms are racing to the east and again putting down wind damage and some very large hail. Several counties are under severe thunderstorm warnings here just to the west of the immediate coverage area of WKYT. Get into parts of Elizabethtown, Bardstown there into Nelson County, northwestern parts of Marion County under a severe thunderstorm warning, and also a flash flood warning is out for sections, most of the Hardin County area where some flooding is being reported. So we are going to really be ramping things up here across the region. Defender Radar Network is also tracking a little bit of circulation still with this storm to the southwest of Bardstown. The track on that would take it into parts of northern sections of Washington County and southern southwestern parts of Anderson County. So folks, Lawrenceburg, Willisburg areas, we'll keep you on guard with that. Those thunderstorms keep spiking on up. Watching that strong thunderstorm as well on 3D Defender here in the northern parts of Scott County. Look at that, a little thunderstorm beginning now to flare up here on the Bourbon and Clark County line. Downtown Frankfort, you're getting in on a general run-of-the-mill thunderstorm. Nothing to be too excited about. Here into the Sadyville area that extends to the northeast across Cynthiana, most of Harrison County, Robertson County, Mount Olivet. Get ready. You've got some pea-sized hail coming your way. We are also watching additional thunderstorms going up across western Kentucky. We've been focusing on this small little thunderstorm that is producing a tornado right now. We actually can show you a picture of this tornado. That is what we're getting out of the Graves County area, and that continues to be on the ground, moving across sections of Marshall County near the Benton area as well into parts of western Kentucky. A lot of damage reports coming in from that particular storm, but that is our tornado showing up into western Kentucky from that particular storm that is heading toward sections of the Princeton area, maybe eventually into the Hopkinsville and Crofton area over the next hour and change. Defender Future Radar. Let's track all these thunderstorms from southwest to northeast. Watch the additional clusters that crank up as we go through the evening. In addition to the severe weather threat, this is a flash flood threat that's out there as well. These storms are tremendous rainfall producers. Now, the bullseye for severe weather is the area in orange. That is across much of central and eastern Kentucky. Damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes. That goes through the evening and likely into the wee hours of tomorrow morning. But we are also watching for a tremendous amount of rain potentially. Here's the in-house computer model that is known as the RPM. And I've expanded this through Thursday as we get additional rounds over the next few days. What this is telling us, I mean, it's got upwards of 4 inches of rain over the next roughly 48 hours. But what it is signaling to us is that you're going to get thunderstorms that can move over the same piece of real estate. So in addition to that severe weather threat, quote unquote severe weather with damaging winds and hail, you can also get flash flooding. May catch a bit of a break on Friday, but by the time we make our way into the weekend, it's a chilly day on Saturday, still a chance for a shower or thunderstorm. Early call for next week. Thunderstorms are back in the bluegrass state, so keep that in mind if you're making some plans over the next week. It's a very stormy pattern. Well, you know, today marks the 20th year anniversary of the release of the movie Twister. Today's severe weather, very good reminder to always be prepared. Mike Linden has a look on tornado history here in the Bluegrass State.
Later this evening, the WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Team is hosting a severe weather training class for the WKYT Weather Watchers here at the Kentucky Theater. Now, coincidentally, the Storm Prediction Center has also labeled Central Kentucky as the most likely spot in the entire United States for severe weather tonight. The peak season for tornadoes in the United States is April through June, but they can still occur at any time of year. So far this season, it's been pretty quiet in the bluegrass, as have the last 3 seasons. Not since March 2nd, 2012 has Kentucky seen deadly tornadoes. Approximately 30 people died that day as tornadoes ripped through Salyersville, Crittenton, West Liberty, and East Bernstadt. Kentucky's average number of tornadoes a year is 30, but over the past decade, that number has slowly increased, because if you look at the previous 30 years, the average is only 19. Now, while the risk is low for tornadoes tonight, The line of storms that threatens Kentucky this evening is the same line of storms that dropped tornadoes over Oklahoma yesterday. Now, if you're interested in learning more about severe weather or you'd like to become a part of the WKYT Weather Watchers team, you can join us this evening here at the Kentucky Theater at 7 o'clock for a Weather Watchers class. And then, ironically enough, following the class at 7:30, a screening of the movie Twister. We'd love to see you here. Tickets are still available online for free. In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
All right, thank you, Mike. New severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued until 5:15. As expected, Anderson County, Washington County included in that, along with Spencer and Nelson counties. Again, that's 5:15. Storm is riding the Bluegrass Parkway. Likely some damaging hail and large hail damaging winds with that storm. Keep it right here in WKYT. Severe weather coverage continues in a moment.
Don't be chicken. Come into Captain D's for our Southern-style whitefish, topped with a special blend of seasonings for our Nashville hotfish. Also try our catfish feast or grilled tilapia and shrimp skewer meal. For full meals starting at $4.99, it's gotta be D's.
It could happen to you. The care that your loved one requires is more than you can provide, and you find yourself relying on a nursing home. If you currently have a loved one in a nursing home and you have concerns, you're not alone. At Care Command, our licensed nurses perform a specialized review on your behalf, evaluate the care, and provide you with the information you need to ensure your loved one is receiving the best care available. Becoming your voice, getting answers for you. Care Command.
Hi, I'm Travis Morgan with North Broadway Auto Sales. We've been in business for over 20 years. Got over 200 cars in inventory and thousands of happy customers.
At North Broadway Auto Sales, we never put GPS tracking devices on our cars.
Why pay $500 a month on another car lot when you come here and pay as low as $250 a month?
At North Broadway Auto Sales, everybody rides.
En North Broadway Auto Sales, todos manejan.
Shake it on down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for the 2nd annual Carolina Country Music Fest, June 9th through the 12th. The Southeast's hottest music event. Rock out with country music's hottest stars like Keith Urban, Tim McGraw, Florida Georgia Line, plus many more. Sandy Beaches, sun-kissed skin, and a can't-miss country music event. We'll see you where the music meets the ocean front at the Carolina Country Music Fest, June 9th through 12th. Book your trip now at visitmyrtlebeach.com.
Used cars are in short supply, so I need your trade. Right now, at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. During the spring clearance event, new 2015 Jeep Renegade Sports are just $189 a month. New 2016 Ram Bighorn Crew Cab four-wheel drives are only $199 a month. And if you have a job and a valid driver's license, we want to approve you. Only at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Don't be chicken. Come into Captain D's for our Southern-style whitefish, topped with a special blend of seasonings for our Nashville hotfish. Also try our catfish feast or grilled tilapia and shrimp skewer meal. For full meals starting at $4.99, it's gotta be D's.
This week, area caregivers are celebrating National Nursing Home Week.
Deanne Stevens is out and about at Cambridge Place Nursing Home with details. Hi, Deanne.
Good afternoon, guys, from Cambridge Place Nursing Home, where we are celebrating National Nursing Home Week. Kara and Ernest and I, we're doing the big selfie party. That's what life's all about, all these selfies now, isn't it, Kara? Oh, Ernest said he's not into duck faces, but he is into celebrating, as are all the residents here at Cambridge Place. Jock is with us. Jock, you were telling me you love National Nursing Home Week. Why do you like it so much?
Oh, I don't know, to tell you the truth.
You said you like to see all the people that come and visit?
Yeah. Come visit and everything.
It's nice to have visitors, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I go home.
But you're here quite a bit, and you love to see all the employees. What do you think about their costumes today?
Oh, they look great.
It is fun to see all of the different costumes. Every day this week, they're dressing up differently. Kara Ball, why do you guys do this?
It's a great way to show our residents that we love them, show our staff that we love them, and tell people, hey, we need volunteers, come on in.
Well, folks like Jock and Ernest and all of the beautiful residents that are here with us today, they like visitors. People like to be visited when they're in a nursing home or anywhere for that matter. You guys could use some help in that department?
Absolutely. Visitors that want to maybe bring a pet in, as long as we've got their shots, we're good to go. Call bingo, make cards, write cards, read books, just hang out and be a new friend.
Now, there's a lot to see if you come visit Cambridge Place this week. All kinds of goodies for the residents and the employees. What are we seeing here?
So these are some gift baskets that employees and residents can win based on the best costume or trivia, all kinds of fun things going on. You can pick a sucker, and if you have the dot on the sucker, then you win this whole big sucker ensemble.
That might take a while to go through, right?
Right. We've got dentists here. We'll fix you up.
He'll take care of things, that's for sure. This isn't a celebration, by the way, just here at Cambridge Place. This is across the country.
That's right.
A good reminder for folks to go visit someone in a nursing home this week.
Absolutely. And like I said, if you're interested in volunteering, please come out, let us know. We'll fill out the paperwork and we'll get you started. We love new friends.
Okay, how about a big happy National Nursing Home Week from everybody? You ready?
Happy National Nursing Home Week!
We are out and about celebrating today at Cambridge Place. I'm Dee and Stevens. Back to you guys.
They go all out.
They are having some fun over there.
27 years ago yesterday marks the death of a musician from the bluegrass and a proud Eastern Kentuckian, Keith Whitley.
As Tanner Hesterberg reports, the legacy he left behind in his hometown of Sandy Hook is more powerful today than it's ever been.
Overlooking one of the few roads running through Sandy Hook, Kentucky, is a statue, a monument of the man whose music began in this town of 600 people, but eventually reached around the world.
The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave.
Keith Whitley recorded 19 songs that made the Billboard country charts, including 5 straight #1 hits in the late 1980s. But nowhere was he more popular than his hometown. And if you're looking for evidence of that, you'll find it at the Frosty Freeze, a restaurant Whitley used to enjoy frequently, and where to this day some of his memorabilia is displayed.
Keith Whitley has been gone for nearly 3 decades, but you still have all these posters and flyers up of him on your wall here.
And as long as I am in here, they will be up.
Why?
He's family.
Judy Pennington and her husband are longtime owners of the Frosty Freeze. Walking inside here is almost like traveling back to a time before Keith Whitley was a country music sensation and was simply Keith to those who knew him.
This is Lana and Keith. They have been dating for quite some time.
Your sister?
My sister, Lana.
And he's got his guitar with him.
And he has his guitar. Carried that guitar with him wherever he went, but I think he's got on these pointed-toed shoes. I told him one time he's going to have to cut them off. They were too pointed-toed.
Don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. Let it be me.
Whitley's music and memory stay alive thanks in part to this annual concert in Sandy Hook organized by the nonprofit Friends of Keith Whitley. His brother Dwight marvels at the number of people who come out to support Keith and his music all these years later.
Oh, they're still mourning over Keith. They lost their hero. I mean, they're honoring him all the time, you know, and Sandy Hook never forgot Keith. And I will say this, Keith never forgot Sandy Hook.
And now there's another monument by which to remember him. Bluegrass musician Scott Napier and artist Michael Young, both avid Keith Whitley fans, worked together to make this sign. Napier transported the sign from Hazard to Sandy Hook Saturday for the concert, where it was unveiled to the crowd and later installed.
We can't tell Keith personally, and he never got to see the impact, but it's just my way to show somebody. You know, he loved Sandy Hook. He always talked about Sandy Hook from the stages. You know, he thanked the people of Sandy Hook. So it's me thanking the people of Sandy Hook and Keith and his family.
But as Judy Pennington at the Frosty Freeze likes to point out, family had a broad definition to Keith Whitley, and she would know better than anyone. Because next to Whitley's statue is a grave, and that grave is where her son, her only child, Courtney, is buried. He died in October when his truck crashed. He was 32. When Courtney Pennington was a boy, Keith Whitley once asked him to take the stage and play with the band, and he did. And now Pennington rests in peace right next to the statue of the country music icon he admired more than anyone.
Do you believe Keith Whitley and your son are playing together today?
Yes, sir, from the bottom of my heart. I know it. And every time I go to that cemetery, I tell them both that. I surely do.
What do you tell them?
I tell them to keep on playing the music. Stay together. That's what I tell them every time I go.
During Saturday's concert, Judy Pennington took the stage just like her son. And in his memory, she presented a check that will help provide college scholarships to kids who plan on pursuing careers in music. It's something that rescued her from overwhelming grief.
I didn't even speak to people, no disrespect, I couldn't. Well, all at once this has come up, it's brought me out of it. It has actually brought me out of it.
27 years after leaving this world, Keith Whitley is still lifting people up. His music remains timeless when time for some seems to run out too soon. But one thing that will never run out is the pride Sandy Hook and all of Eastern Kentucky feels for the man who was no stranger to the rain.
Gone too soon. It'd be amazing to think if he were still here about all the great music we would still have from him.
Beautiful voice.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for watching.
WKYT News at 5 is coming your way right after this break.